Hi everyone, how are you? So I thought I'll do a book review today of one of my favorite books, Jinnah Often Came to Our House by Kiran Doshi. Now why is it my favorite book? If you are one of those who judges the book by the cover and specially leaves the book because of the thickness, then I think you are wrong here. Because this is one of those historical fiction books which will not only teach you history, but will also develop your interest as a fiction reader into the story. It is very well weaved, the facts and the fictions together. Now, why I really like this book? Because it gives me a different type of insight into the life of Muhammad Ali Jinnah. We have a certain perspective about him, but who was Muhammad Ali Jinnah? It will talk in a very different tone. Here you will know that he was a non-Urdu speaking, a non-religious person and somebody who was highly educated and intellectual. His role into bridging the National Congress with the Muslim League, his role in bridging the Hindus and the Muslims together during the pre-independence era is very well defined in this book. And how he was led into making Pakistan and not lead. I will restate the word led and not lead. For that you need to read this book. The plot here is based somewhere around in 1904. You will see the upper class Muslims. This whole novel revolves around a character called Sultan Khwaishi and his wife Rehana. Sultan Khwaishi comes from UK after getting a lawyer's degree, and then how his life is revolved around the pre-independence era. And the role of his wife, who is more involved in the freedom movement. This book I really liked because it gave me an insight into the life of women in that particular era, that they were able to drive, they were very well educated, they were able to quote Shakespeare. Yes, you're right, Shakespeare. If you are a Shakespeare fan, then this book is a must read for you because it has a lot of quotations of Shakespeare. Another thing which I really liked in this book was that it questions the identity, the question which we are still struggling with after so many years, the Hindu-Muslim identity. So I think that this is not a history book, but a book which is based in fiction, which will be gripping and a page turner. The language is very easy. It's extremely flowy. It has a lot of Hindi and Urdu colloquial terms, which you are going to enjoy. In the end, I'll read the last lines of this book, which have really always touched me. And I think for me, as a fan of historical fiction, this was one book which I'll always hold very dear to my heart. These lines have always brought tears into my eyes. I'll read these lines. When a former trustee of Ekta called Jinnah passed away one hot September day in a faraway land, the evening news said that he had breathed his last in a stalled ambulance on a desert road with nobody by his side except his sister Fatima, struggling to keep flies away from his face with a folded newspaper. Dadi, you know this man Jinnah? Meera asked Rehana as they sat down for dinner. Yes, darling, Rehana said. A long time back, he often came to our house. A man like Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the last days of his life that he spent with his sister and a few flies. I think this book you should read. It is my 100% recommendation. Thank you so much.